See, that was a nice little countdown. I forgot that happened. Like I told you, it's been a while since I've used this, so my last half hour has been panicking to make sure I have everything set up properly again.
Oh, good.
So welcome to another episode of Stories from a Bar. I'm your host, Chris Osborne. For this episode, I am chatting with David Hennel. Did I say that correctly?
Sounds good.
Excellent. How are you?
I'm fantastic. We're so excited about our event and so happy to reach
Awesome.
out.
Yeah, I'm super excited to talk about this Flights for Veterans, which we will, of course, get into. And like I was just telling you before, thank you for reaching out. You sent me an email. Um, that makes it things so much easier for me because I'm always trying to decide who to chat to next. So when people reach out to me, I'm like, all right, mission accomplished.
Absolutely.
So I'm certainly happy you did that. But yeah, so first and foremost, thank you for taking the time to hang out.
Looking forward to chatting tonight and sharing a little bit more what we got planned.
I know. So we record last night was Halloween. Before we get into anything, how was your Halloween?
Halloween was fun. The kids are a little bit older than having mom and dad go out with them now, but we might have hung out with a couple neighbors over a fire pit and had a couple beers, so it was
Oh,
nice.
oh man, it was like 70 degrees out too. It was awesome.
I think a lot of the kids dressed for cold and were a little warm.
Well, everyone I was talking to during the day at work. I'm like, I remember trick or treating as a kid with a foot of snow on the ground, like at least one Halloween. And like this year it's 70 degrees. I'd love to be just sitting out on my back deck having some beers, but then I can't hear the doorbell.
Right.
And I
Right.
think we only ended up with 3 trick or treaters this year. So
Oh,
I'm like,
okay. I'm in the
ah,
neighborhood. We were busy. We were
like,
definitely busy. My wife was dressed as Wednesday Adams, and she was running to the door every couple minutes. So
oh, that's awesome. So, yeah, so like the street I'm on, I'm close to a neighborhood. I'm like neighborhood adjacent, and then this my actual street's probably the busier street in the area, so that's probably why I don't get as many. But I think last year we had like 10 kids. We've been in the house for 4 years.
okay,
Um, but yeah, last year we had 10. That's the most we've had. So I was expecting kind of the same.
yeah,
But then again,
we're in the 120 to 150 range, and
jeez.
every so often, it seems like all the kids invite all their friends to the neighborhood, and we might hit 200. But yeah, it's uh
Holy
it's
cow.
a lot of fun, and then all the neighbors are decorating. It's crazy over here. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I admit I did slack a little with the decorations this year. It's something I want to do more is get some awesome decorations. Like there's one house that had all kinds of lights up outside, just a couple houses down. I'm like, I kind of feel ashamed.
Nice.
Yeah, but I didn't dress up, but it's more candy for my girlfriend and I because I think we've been snacking on it all week anyway. So a little hard to complain about that. Did you like? So did you dress up at all? You mentioned your wife
You
dressed up
know,
as Wednesday Adam.
I might have put on the Charleston Chiefs. I put on the Hanson brothers, hockey jersey and walked down the street. That was about the extent of it.
Oh, that's fine. I don't think. I think the last time I went all out, I put together a Captain Morgan costume,
Yeah.
which was the most I've done, and I don't know why I didn't think about it at the time, but if you go out to parties dressed as Captain Morgan, people expect you to take shots, so that was a mistake.
Hope the girlfriend was driving home.
I'm like, people get mad when they see you drinking a beer and not Captain and Coke or something like that. I'm like, my liver can only take so much.
That's great.
What's your favorite candy?
Candy, I got to go with the Nestle Crunch.
The Nestle. Oh, okay.
Uh, it's,
Nestle Crunch.
it's an old school favorite, but it's still right up there. So
That's a good one because like I don't have much of a sweet tooth, like a real big one when it comes to chocolate and stuff like that. I like Nestle Crunch. Three Musketeers I've been snacking on from the variety bag, but I like them when they're cold. But I think my favorite candy is probably Airheads.
Airheads. Okay. Yeah, the wife's into Whoppers. Last night it was interesting because the neighbors that we were hanging with by the fire pit were trying to explain to their kids that Godiva was terrible chocolate. They should throw it away and just give it to them. So
Oh man, yeah, sure. That's kids will believe anything. What? I can't believe now it's November. We're past Halloween. Are you gearing up for the holiday season?
we are. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. We've got a big family gathering Thanksgiving, and wife loves doing Christmas. So all the decorations will be changing here in a couple days. So yeah,
See, yeah, I'm gonna try and go all out for Christmas this year, and just I have a lot more decorations than I did last year. So I'm just gonna freaking put them all out. Even though we go to some families like Christmas morning, we don't necessarily do anything here. I don't know. It's just like that was ingrained in me growing up.
Right.
For my mom, like wanting to decorate for the holidays. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Plus Thanksgiving, just I'm already thinking about dinner.
Exactly. That
We're
great
all.
turkey. Make sure you order your pies. If you're not making the pies, make sure you get your orders in. Yeah.
But I want to give a quick shout out to, as I like to do when I'm recording from home, I grab a local beer to drink. Just in this particular case, we'll be talking about Flights for Veterans. One of the sponsors, I grabbed some Wolf Hollow to sip on tonight. District 6 IPA. They're actually not far from the house. I probably about 10, 15 minutes tops for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And
Yeah.
this might be in my Flights for Veterans mug. There might happen to be For Love Nor Money from Wolf Hollow.
There you go.
Time,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah. They got some good stuff cooking over there. Kyle knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
I went there back in, I don't, it was July or August for their 11th year anniversary. Like,
Yeah.
I can't, like, so that was a good time. Like, good for them. I can't believe they've been around as long as they have.
They've been doing a great job. Did you stop in for their Oktoberfest in September?
I did not make it to the Oktoberfest.
They pulled me in to run some games, so they have a really good crowd for that one. And yeah, that's the warm up to the big Glenville Oktoberfest that we help with. So yeah,
Yeah.
follows. They've done a great job, and right now, just like two doors down from another one of our vendors for the flights event is Murray's Fools. They moved into the old Riverside Maple.
So, what exactly? I saw that name on the webpage, and we'll get even more into the sponsors. But since you brought it up, what is Murray's Fools? That's not one I had heard of.
They're a distillery. So
Okay.
yeah, their distillery. They went in there. They've really renovated, and then out back they built like a whole rick house. Where my understanding is like other people that are doing distilling, a lot of times you don't have place to store. So Murray's Fools actually built a rick house out and back, and other guys can come in there and store and age their whiskey out back. So
Oh wow.
they got a
That's
little they got a little trail between there and Wolf Hollow.
yeah.
So
I know. Yeah, I know. There's the walking trail. Okay. Yeah, I haven't. It's probably been a few months since I've been over to Wolf Hollow, but I just they're one of my favorite places to go when I can sit outside, just because of their setting. At the base of some small mountains, there it's just a cool place to sit outside and have a few great beers.
absolutely, yeah.
But let's talk about Flights for Veterans. That's why you reached out. That's what we're here to talk about. Um, I'm not sure. I had heard of. Is this the first time we're doing this, or you're
This
doing this?
is this is our inaugural year. Absolutely.
And are you looking to turn this into an annual thing?
We would love to. I think the venue is going to be incredible. I think it's going to go over super well. I think we're going to get some amazing pictures, as people are enjoying the event. So yeah, the hope is to make this the first of many years.
Oh,
Absolutely.
awesome. So, flights for veterans. By the way, kudos on the name. That's a great beer tasting event, liquor tasting event, flights. It's
Yep.
being held in the coolest part for me, an airplane hangar, because I've been to certainly a number of beer tastings at like hotels and other event centers, but the idea of doing it in an airplane hangar is certainly fresh. So kudos to who came up with the marketing. That's top notch marketing right there.
Thank you. Yeah. No, we were. Where we actually got the idea was we were up in Saratoga Springs, and the Saratoga Lions up there do the night at the Museum. That's an April event,
Oh, okay.
and we've gone to that. Um, we've been good supporters of them for many years, and we were just hanging out there one night saying, "Wow, it would be awesome to do something like this down in Glenville, down in our area." And you nailed it with the hangar. Our biggest thing was, okay, what can we do as a really cool venue? And the Empire State Aerosciences Museum there is right in Glenville, and they just had their, I think it was their 40th anniversary, and then you've also got the Capital Region Veteran Memorials, a brand new memorial park down there. So it's like, what better way to bring some attention? It's a fundraiser for both of them, but it's also trying to increase awareness of both what they're doing there. So
Wow, I can't believe that place has been there for 40 years. It was been there. I grew up in the area.
okay.
I lived in South Carolina for about 5 years when I was like 15 to 20. I'm 40 now, so I've been back for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, just the fact that that place is still there is awesome. But Flights for Veterans, it's a tasting event to benefit those who've served. It's happening next Friday. We're actually recording this on a Friday, 1 week from tonight's November 8th, 5:30 to 9:30. Four jam-packed hours full of over 25 plus vendors. Now it sounds like, right?
We do. We're right at 25 right now. Absolutely. And, probably about a week and a half ago, we were at 20, and, people just kept hearing about it, and more breweries and distilleries wanted to get involved. So yeah, we're up to 25 now. And, yeah, you're right. It's a 4-hour event, and, it should be great. It should be really good.
That's awesome. Have you ever served? Did you serve in the military?
I personally did not. I have some family members. My great grandfather was in the Civil War down in Pennsylvania. So
Wow, really?
kind of neat. But no, I did not. But I greatly appreciate everything that those that have served have done for us, for our country, to keep us safe. And so it's great to give back. And these are two great orgs.
So, I mean, I haven't served myself. I work. I'm a government contractor, and I actually work for the Navy. But I haven't served. I have a number of friends and family that have. My brother is actually retired Air Force, so when he retired, I went to the ceremony and everything. That was a number of years ago now. That was super cool to see. Uh, but quick side note: if working for the Navy is actually how I got the house when my girlfriend and I were looking to buy a house 4-ish years ago. If I didn't have the job, I wouldn't have gotten the house. So, because I used Navy Federal for the loan and everything like that, we had been looking for a year. It was awful. Just anybody that even watches the news hears the stories. We went a whole year trying to find a house, getting outbid by $10,000, $20,000. Like it's insane. Well, we were literally had given up, like put a deposit on a new apartment, and we're just going to wait a year. But the people selling the house had a really big Navy connection.
Huh?
Like really like their grandparents or parents that served in the Navy, and then they saw my financing was through Navy Federal, and they're like, "We're gonna go with this guy," even though they had an offer like 10 or 15 grand over mine. I'm like, so the realtor calls me. She's like, "They're taking your offer because they think you served in the Navy." Or I'm like my jaw, like I was excited, and then my jaw dropped. I'm like, I can't live with that.
Right.
Like that. I'm like, oh man. Like you got to tell them I didn't serve. You can tell them I worked for the Navy, but I haven't served. Like she's like, are you sure? It's been so hard.
Yeah.
I can't live. I can't live with that. So she went back, and then I get a phone call like 10, 15 minutes later, and they're like, they appreciate the honesty, and they're still going. They still want to go with it. I'm like,
That's
okay, that's
yeah.
awesome. So I owe a lot of my current life to the Navy, even though I never served. But yeah, like I said, a lot of family um, and friends that like I have a buddy that teaches at West Point, actually, one of my best friends growing up. So strong military connections I have, and I always appreciate the people that you know make that decision and do that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I live
But
here right in Glenville, and we have the sound of freedom all the time. You got the C-130s are circling the skies. We're right over near the runways, and it's a cool sound. You get used to it, and it's kind of soothing hearing those planes go over. And sometimes it's cool. You're going past the airport, and you're seeing them with the back door open as they're getting ready to practice doing drops as they fly by. So as long as they don't drop early.
oh yeah, so I was trying to dig up some information on this Flights for Veterans. So, what exactly is the organization that is putting this on? I know that it's a benefit to help support or those that have served, benefit also for the Aero Science Museum, which is great. So, how did this come to be?
Yeah, so it's a group of us. There's like three or four of us that are the core. We call it the flight crew, that
Hmm.
are the main ones that did a lot of the groundwork to get it going. Um, most of us are Glenville Rotarians. So Glenville Rotary does an awful lot with the veterans. We host Veterans Day ceremony and a Memorial Day ceremony. all the flags that you might see up on Route 50, the Field of Flags as we call it. That's
Yep.
something our club does. As well as the Glenville Business and Professional Association, the GBPA. That's the group that plans the Glenville Oktoberfest, which I'm involved with as well. So you had a couple of good organizations that are good on planning events. We've got a ton of Rotarians that are going to be helping out with the night of the event. But yeah, it was those two organizations. ESAM's been nice enough to the Glenville Rotary where they let us use their community room for our meetings every week. So it was a way to, hey, what can we do to give back? It's a lot of times the Rotarians are, making donations out of their own pocket, but it's like, hey, let's think bigger. What could we do to help them with a bigger event, help them raise some more money? They've done an amazing job. One of the main reasons that we were thinking about going with this starting last year, but ESAM was still doing a lot of hangar renovations. They were putting all new windows in the hangar, and I'm so glad we waited because it looks awesome now. But yeah, so Rotary and GBPA definitely were two of the bigger organizations behind a lot of us doing it. And again, we got a ton of volunteers from the Veterans Memorial, the Capital Region Veterans Memorial, and ESAM that are all part of the event too. So sort of a
That's
good group effort,
yeah, that's awesome. Um, Going to the website and stuff now, is this tied to the Legacy project? Because I was reading about that.
Exactly. So the Capital Region Veterans Memorial is their subname is basically the Legacy Project.
Okay.
That's what they've done. They've actually they worked with the town of Glenville. They got a plot of land. This was a vision. A number of people that were all involved. Past veterans. We had some Rotarians as well involved in it, where they had this vision of having like a multi-county park for veterans, but they wanted to go beyond that. So they're actually trying to set up, and they are setting up a veteran support center. So there's a whole house where they're going to have counseling available. The long-term vision is they want to have a cafe for the veterans. They've seen it in different states in the U.S. that some people do this with their veterans memorials, where it's a cafe where veterans can come in and get lunch, breakfast, coffee, and it's a chance for them to get a meal, but at the same point be able to talk to other veterans at the same time. So it's they're now off the ground. They've got the Vietnam Veterans Memorials all set up. They've got all the different stations where they're planning on doing other memorials around there, and they're getting ready to start open up the house for that support center too. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Reading about Legacy Project, their missions to honor the brave men and women who sacrificed for the nation, of course. So it sounds like they were doing a lot of great things. So the proceeds, it's nice to know where you talk about a benefit, of course, for veterans and the Aerospace Museum. It's nice to hear where that money's actually going, what it's actually doing, and things like that. Because I think that's a question a lot of people ask when they're going to benefits. Sure, but benefit for whatever sounds great, but what's the money actually doing?
right.
Once you have it.
Yeah, and I can honestly say 100% of what we make after we pay some of the bills, and we've gotten a lot of stuff donated. After the bills are paid, 100% of it's getting split between those two organizations. So this is not a fundraiser for Glenville Rotary or the GBPA. It's totally to help them, through ticket sales. We're going to have some raffles, a couple silent auctions, and in a 50-50 that night. But yeah, all of that's just going to go back to those two groups. So
Oh, silent auctions. What are we auctioning off?
I think they've got another guy that's a pilot. So I think he's going to be doing another ride. So that's something we're offering to our VIPs too. So if you're paying a little extra for your ticket, we're having a special tasting out in one of the C-130s. They've got two C-130s that they were initially planning on using them for the back in the 80s when the hostages were had been taken over on Iran. They were actually working on trying to do a rescue mission. And so they're going to open up one of the back of the C-130. So we're actually going to have some tastings for the people that are doing the VIP right in the back of the aircraft. We've got some folks that served in those planes. They'll tell some stories. So should be pretty cool.
Yeah. So looking at the C-130, I read that with the VIP package, by the way. General admission tickets for this, $40, VIP 60, correct?
And $20 for designated drivers. So
designated drivers, because those are very important. Absolutely. But I'm like, C-130, I'm like, I knew it was a big plane. I just couldn't remember what it looks like. So I had looked up the picture. I'm like, it's the air equivalent of a tractor trailer. These were like the giant cargo planes, right?
They are. Yep. The C-130 Hercules. Right in Glenville. I think you got your picture on the bottom. There's one of the ski equipped. They are the only ski equipped aircraft. They actually leave Glenville and actually fly down to Antarctica. So
Oh wow.
they support. So the orange tailed C-130s are going down to Antarctica. They're part of the National Science Foundation, and then the gray ones are actually military. So they do get called into service time to time to help out. So, but
Yeah. Yeah, so VIP gets you drinking in a C-130. That's kind of awesome. That's a pretty special experience.
it's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, absolutely. So,
Well,
and we got some of our vendors are doing double duty. So they'll be hosting. Everybody's hosting in the hangar, and then we've got a number of them. Where we got certain time slots where the VIPs will get a chance to go out to the C-130, and they'll have some different folks out there doing some tastings out there. Yeah.
nice. Uh, Silent auction. That's super cool. Didn't know that was happening. I've no, yeah, I've never been in a cockpit of a plane, any kind of plane. Like I mean, I've flown, of course, uh,
Yep.
even to Florida earlier this year. But
Yeah.
oh man,
In
yeah, that
all
would be
fairness,
super cool.
it's not a ride in a C-130 this time. Maybe in
Hey,
the future years, this event keeps getting bigger and bigger. Maybe we can get the Air Guard to do that. But yeah, it's one of the I think it's one of the members of the Air Museum. He is a pilot, and he's got I think it's just a Cessna, but he was offering up a ride, and so we're going to auction that off. And I believe they got it in the silent auction. So if you're a VIP, you get 2 shots at it if you buy a ticket through the silent auction too.
nice. It was funny. I was a buddy of mine from work has a couple kids, and at least two of them just love that Aero Science Museum. He's like, I've been there so many times, I can't take it anymore, because the kids love it.
Well, that's the other thing what we're doing. It's not all over the posters, but for anybody for the adults that are because this is a 21 and over event because obviously there's going to be tastings. But anybody that attends, we're giving them a pass. The Air Museum's giving them a pass to bring the kids back over Black Friday weekend, so the
Oh
kids can
wow,
actually see the planes themselves. So hopefully the parents will be excited. They're like, "Wow, this is pretty cool!" And yeah, so
yeah.
they make it another visit.
No, that's super awesome. So tickets are still on sale, not sold out yet. Uh, Planning for probably 300 plus attendees. How has the response been, this being the inaugural year since you guys have started to promote this?
So right now, again, we got an overwhelming response from the vendors. We wanted to make sure we had uh a viable number to have a really good event. We got some big names in. We got big, some of the bigger breweries. We got some of the craft ones. They're from all over the place. We got some people coming even from Vermont for it. Tickets have been on sale for about 3 weeks. So it's would be happier having a few more tickets sold advance right now, probably. So yeah, definitely tickets are still available advance. We're getting a lot of traction. We're getting a lot of publicity. It's a veterans event on Veterans Weekend, so we're expecting to see a really good turnout there. But yeah, if you buy your tickets online now, you're guaranteed you get in. Um, and again, we'd love to see as many people as possible.
Yeah, speaking of buying them online, tickets are at flightsforveterans.com, correct?
Correct.
Uh,
Absolutely. Yep.
Flights, FLIGHTS, of course, Flights for Veterans. Are there going to be, if it's not sold out, will there still be an opportunity to buy a ticket at the door?
Absolutely. We will definitely have tickets at the door. We've got a couple of different breweries that have actually offered to sell them on site. So I know Wolf follows close. They've got tickets at the bar right now. So if you are if you want to grab a paper ticket, if you're not comfortable logging online, we did make that available just this past week. We started doing some paper tickets.
That's
Um,
like that's always nice because I don't know what it is. Like I grew up kind of like during the switch between everything hard copy to everything digital. So
yep.
there's some stuff I just like to like there's no excuse for it really. Like there's some stuff I just like to have a physical copy of.
But
Uh
the online tickets are super easy because that way we don't have to be mailing tickets back out to people and stuff. But yeah, if you go online, it's we're using Ticket Leap to do the online sales. But yeah, then you definitely have the paper ones. And if you know one of us, obviously we have tickets as well. So
yep. That's awesome. So, how did I think we touched on this already, but um, the idea came about talking with up in Saratoga. I forgot the
Yeah,
other
they
organ.
did the museum event.
Yep,
So
the museum event.
yep. And they had a similar idea, basically, because you're right. I've been to some of the events. They have them at like the Saratoga, city center, and you have different places like that. Where the night at the museum initially it was at the there's a really cool military museum right in Saratoga Springs.
Yep.
Um, so there was exhibits and they had the tastings in amongst the exhibits. They've actually outgrown that place. It was getting really tight because they were selling out every single year, and they've actually moved to the Canfield Casino. So they do that at the end of April. I think it's the 25th this coming year. So yeah, when we were talking to we were there having really enjoying the event, seeing all these great vendors. You had a lot of them that had military history. One of the ones that I think's got the coolest setup is Slick Fin Brewing. They've actually got they've actually right on the top of their taps they have a small bomb
Oh,
that's made
really?
stuff, and they bring that. So I told them they have to bring it this weekend. um, but
That's they're the only one with a requirement.
yeah, exactly. But we talked to the Lions and we reached out to them and like, hey, would you be willing to help us with this? It's like we're going to go at a completely different time of year. We are absolutely not looking to compete. You guys do a great job. They do scholarships and all kinds of stuff with the money they raise, and they were super nice. They sat right down with us and gave us some good advice and stuff. So yeah, that was the nexus of it. And then it was just really reaching out to the different breweries and stuff, and having good connections, and a bunch of the people that are involved are regulars at different places. So obviously those places stepped up, and everybody wants to help the veterans. It's when you say you're doing it for veterans, a lot of them are veteran owned or their families were veterans. But especially this time of year, everybody's trying to recognize everybody that serves.
Oh yeah, just since I've been doing the podcast and meeting a lot of the brewers and people behind these operations, yeah, a lot of former veterans. I haven't talked to a lot of people that have actually put like I've talked to a lot of bar people, brewers, and kind of people in the business. I haven't talked to a lot of people that have put actually organized the event, like the events like these. What was the toughest part about trying to bring this together?
I think one of the toughest things is a lot of these breweries are they get asked every week. They get asked every week to donate product, to do something, and again, shout out to the 25 of them that are going to be there. They're basically bringing staff down to the Air Museum. They're bringing products, so they're bringing the beer, the wine, the spirits. If their liquor license allow it, um, they basically they are allowed to sell, so they can sell. So that there'll be some bottles and stuff like that. But yeah, they're all donating, probably $300 to $400 worth of product that night, um, which allows us to then sell the tickets and be able to donate all that money. So that's good. Yeah, I think that is the challenge. I think it is a matter of they're asked all the time. So again, you really got to have. I think the venue definitely helps. We haven't touched on the venue. Well, we touched on the venue being the hangar, but the cool part is that the Air Museum has basically moved a lot of the aircraft they had outside in the airport inside. So
Oh, okay.
one of my favorite is they've got a black F5 in there. So it's a U.S. fighter aircraft. That actual plane was in the first Top Gun movie.
Oh man, I literally just watched Top Gun not that long ago.
So it was the aggressor plane. So when they said they were, Tom Cruise was up against the MiGs. The MiG is in Glenville, and the Air Museum folks are getting out a bunch of flight helmets and stuff like that. So it should be cool. People can throw a helmet on if they want to get their picture next to that. A couple weeks ago, maybe it was about a month ago, we had there was a roar over the skies. The Air Museum was getting, yeah, there you go, with the F5s.
Yep.
Uh, the Air Museum was getting an F-15 donated from one of the air bases over, I think it was Westover in Massachusetts, or Westfield, and so it was the F-15. So that was coming over. It flew into Glenville, was roaring over the skies. That is also right in the hangar. So as we get the different vendors in there, they're going to be set up sort of under the wing of the planes and stuff like that. There's a couple helicopters in there. There's a Huey in there. There's some other cool stuff. So
Yeah, that's a really unique opportunity for both people that like to drink and pretty much anywhere. But even for the vendors, I could see the appeal because that's not the typical tasting event that just comes along. Yeah, like we can sit this one out or something like that. Like that is it's something special.
Yeah, it's
And
not exactly the conference room at the Marriott.
no. Let's talk about some of these vendors. So I have, by the way, you can follow if anyone that's not doing it already. Check out Flights for Veterans on Instagram and Facebook. That's where you can keep up with the information going on. Also, flightsforveterans.com is where you get the tickets. 25 vendors lined up at the moment. I've pulled up the Instagram here so we can talk about some of these people. Uh, all great places. Common Roots, uh, I've done a podcast there. Beautiful tap room up. Is it actually Glens Falls or is it just north of Glens Falls? I
Well,
can't
they
even.
got two now, so they
Yeah,
actually expanded. So they're south,
and Albany. Yeah,
and then yeah, they're down in down in
they.
downtown Albany as well. Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't been there since they've taken over CH Evans. I need to go.
I have not made that one either, but
Allied Brewing. Funny story. I didn't realize I was going out to do a podcast with Helderberg Brewing, which is their logo's right next to Allied here. And I drove by Allied. I'm like, oh crap! I didn't realize they were as close as they were. That's still one place I need to check out. I haven't had any of their stuff yet, but I've heard good things. Helderberg Brewing. I went out there, did a podcast with them. Super nice people, some great beers. Browns, always some solid stuff. They're going to be there drinking, enjoying my Wolf Hollow right now.
yeah,
Still, Frog Alley, man, they have just exploded since they opened. Giant place in Schenectady.
absolutely, yeah,
Artisanal, love Artisanal, but that's a little bit of a drive for me. Glenville's certainly a lot closer.
yeah.
Great Sack and Dogga. I don't know if I've had any of their stuff.
Yeah, Great Saginaw is right up there in Broad Alban, right above the traffic circle, and they've been super supportive for the Legacy project. They've done like a Legacy Ale, and they actually did a special brew for them. So we had the Veterans Memorial folks reach out to Great Saginaw and say, hey, we'd love to get you down to the event too. So they were more than happy to come as well. So I don't know, maybe they'll have some of those cans of the Legacy Ale, which was a pretty nice label as well, and tasty, of course.
I have no doubt. Fidens, of course, they've exploded since they've come on the scene. Actually,
Fidens doesn't usually do tastings, so
no, I don't. I don't think I see their name associated with a lot of things.
I don't think we've ever seen Fidens on a tasting. I know they've never been at ones I've been to, so we were really fortunate to have them to sign on as well. Yeah,
What's the logo next to them? It's a
that's
little
Raquette
small.
River.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so they're coming in, and yeah, it's cool. We've got some names that people don't always might not know, and hopefully we get them some good exposure, and and then as well people will want to go back out and actually go visit their breweries and the distilleries after the event. So
Yeah, there's some new
yeah,
places on here. There's some places that aren't actually specifically local in the 10 to 30 minute sense. Real
right.
McCoy, some great beers there. I've chatted with them. Actually, they have a new tap room, brewery, restaurant type thing opening in Albany soon in the old Huck Finn
Oh, are they?
area.
Okay, because they're right in Ballston Spa.
Yeah. Yeah, the tap house there, the Abner
Yeah.
Doubleday house.
Yes,
Yep.
right on Doubleday.
Yeah, that's where I recorded with those guys. Talked about that. Like, I think it was their opening weekend. That's just a cool historic site to go, and you can't believe they turned it into a tap room.
Very
Like
good.
it's kind of hysterical and awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, Speckled Pig right across the street, pretty much.
Speckled Pig is right across the street. They got some great pizza as well as great beer. Yeah,
Oh man, yeah, great
it's
stuff.
nice. Boston Spa is getting to be a little bit of a destination there. You
It
pop in.
is. That's. I need to get back up there. I need. Well, the problem is that is maybe a 25-ish minute drive. So if I'm going up there, I need a DD myself, or else I can't really enjoy it to the extent that I want to enjoy it.
Yeah, and and if you wanted to go afterwards, we do also mention to folks that the Air Museum is located out right on Route 50. So the bus CDTA actually does run all the way up. So there's another option for getting home safely in addition to the Ubers and friends and designated drivers too. But
Yeah,
yeah, we are
absolutely. That is the most important part for sure.
exactly.
Paradox Brewery. I've had two of their beers. I've enjoyed them. They're a little bit of a drive for me. They're up north.
They're a big time drive. They're out by the old what was it? It was the Fort, not Fort Ticonderoga. What was the old amusement park? Frontier Town. They're
Oh
basically
wow, I haven't
right
heard that.
where Frontier Town was. Yeah, and they've really expanded. They had a smaller tap room, and now they got a beautiful new site around the corner from Frontier Town. So yeah,
Yeah,
if you're heading up the Northway, they're up a ways. So I think
the,
we got a couple from Vermont coming, but yeah, Paradox is definitely a long drive.
yeah. I of course follow their social medias, and what they've built up there looks phenomenal. Which looks absolutely stunning from what I've seen. Slick Fin. We of course you mentioned them. I can't see the logo, but right between next to Slick Fin there.
Madison Brewing, they're coming in from Vermont. They're coming over from the
Okay.
Bennington area. So yeah, Mike
Awesome.
Madison had reached out last year when we were talking about doing. He was pretty excited, and yeah, they decided to make the trek. So there's another,
Awesome.
when you're going skiing, you can always swing by and thank them for coming out to it.
It's skiing season's coming up. Other one up in Clifton Park. I've been hearing about them. I haven't had any of their stuff yet, so it'll be nice to try to see what they're about. Of course, Speckled Pig Mixed Breed. I got to chat with those guys when they first opened. Nice guys. I enjoy their beers over in Gilderland.
Yeah, yeah.
Some cideries too.
We
Don't
do have
want to make
cideries. We
sure.
get a little of everything. You got the beer, you got the spirits, you got some cider, we got a couple wine, and that Crispin Lane is actually associated with Allied.
Are
So
they
Allied Brewing has got the Crispin Lane with them. So they're bringing
okay?
both. Yeah.
It's funny. It's you had reached out to me, and then I within a couple days I had someone from Village Garage Distillery reach out to me about a podcast. So when I saw their logo on here, I'm like, that what a coincidence, because I'm working, you have them, they'll be here, I'm working on getting something set up with them, hopefully in
You'll
the
just
next
have to
couple of
bring
weeks.
business cards next Friday, and
I know, man, I know. Actually, the craziest thing, they weren't somebody I knew about before they had reached out, and I saw their logo on here.
you know,
Uh, and then went and looked them up. I am admittedly not a huge spirit drinker. Uh, Usually more the beer, but the guy that used the Dos Equis commercials, the most interesting man in the world. I didn't realize he was affiliated with them.
oh, is he really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, he's on the website. They call him their chief storytelling officer. I guess when he retired, he moved to Vermont and met the owners, and they just kind of hit it off and does promotional events and stuff for them from
Burn
the
Hills Baseball does a benefit in February, and they actually had him. He actually came over for the event, so he had the big
Did
chair.
he really?
You could get your picture with the most interesting man in the world.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
that was
I
great.
doubt I doubt he'll be there when I do the podcast, but yeah, I gotta ask. He has a book which I didn't know about, and I need to buy it now and read it because it was I forgot the title. It was like "Stay Interesting." I don't always tell stories about my life, but when I do, they're true and amazing. I'm like,
That's great.
so I got to get that book and read that.
He was super,
What?
real friendly gentleman. Yeah, that was nice talking to him.
Who do we have next to Village Garage? Is this Spinning Cork?
That that's Springbrook Hollow Farm.
Springbrook Hollow.
Yep, they're up near Lake George.
All
So
right.
they're distillery. So yep, they're coming up as well.
New
And
Scotland Spirits, I'm familiar with. I've had Jesse and one of his partners, Rachel, on the podcast before. Super nice. I haven't had a chance to get to their tasting room that they've just opened, but that place looks beautiful in Albany, right on Lark Street. Um, Second Act Spirits, Rich, who actually used to work at Frog Alley, I believe, left and opened that in Amsterdam.
down in
It'll be
Amsterdam.
cool.
Yep.
Yep. So that's another place I need to get to. Is that another cidery and winery in between there?
We got Cider Creek. They're a big New York State cidery. So they were one of the ones that recently sort of reached out to us when they saw the event was happening. They were they weren't on version one of this of of the poster, but we're really happy to have them. So they're down in Canisteo, New York, so out central New York more. So
Okay.
yeah, there's another one gets bonus points for driving a little ways to come to us.
And of course, Murray's, which we talked about. Murray's. What was it?
Murray's Fools
Fools.
Distillery.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
And
I need
then
to. Yeah, I need to go back over to Wolf Hollow. I need to go there in the fall now that it's November. Walk that little trail and check that out.
and in the winter they got the fire pits going. You can sit outside in the snow and have a pint out there too. So fire pits and the heaters running full time. So and the other one was Galway Rock. So Galway Rock
Galway.
Winery
Okay. Yep.
also
Yep.
is
Familiar
also
with
something.
them.
It's nice. We'll have a good mix of different things for people to try. So not just beer, but some distilleries and some cider. We've also got Ruggiero's Pizza. We got a little bit of food.
Yeah.
Dinner.
Excellent.
Uh,
Ruggiero's is always a great choice.
Ruggiero's is in, and Maxon's restaurant right up the road in Glenville, they're in. So we're Brian, the one of the owners there, was we were talking about mac and cheese and having a couple different flavors. So he wasn't sure if that was enough. So he was trying to get a little creative. So we'll surprise everybody with what Max is serving. And we may have one or two more places with some food. And then right in our own industrial park here in Glenville, we've got Adirondack Beverage. So if you've seen the Adirondack and Polar Soda, they're actually bottling it right in Glenville, and they've given us 400 bottles of water. So everybody's going to get some water to have on the way out, and or throughout the evening. So that was nice for them to for donate to us as well.
Yeah, that's super awesome. It's great to see just the people that have jumped on this opportunity to be part of it for a great cause. Um, it's gonna be the most, I think, one of the more unique, if provided it becomes a yearly event, one of the certainly the most unique beer tasting or spirit tasting events in the area for sure. Especially if we're doing it at the Hangar. Is that not to jump ahead, but is that kind of the plan? Is that like the Aerospace Museum kind of like the yearly type plan,
Absolutely.
or okay?
Yeah, they have grand plans. Again, the hangar just got new windows last year, so there's all new windows all around. They're going to be doing more work on the hangar doors and renovating those. And again, a bunch, the money that we're making at the event is going to help them pay for some of that. They used to have radiant heating in the floors in there, so we're bringing in some portable heaters. So don't worry if it's a little chilly outside; it'll still be warm in the hangar. But they're doing that. And again, they added that big Concorde display out in the out on the front a couple years back, and that's really given them a lot of visibility. I think there is even some thought there about them moving some of their air park out into the front over by where the hangar where the Concorde is, to make it more visible for people. But yeah, hopefully this will absolutely be an annual event. They'll continue to enhance the hangar, make it even nicer for future years to come too. So.
Yeah, and as soon as you mentioned the heaters, I looked up the weather just because I'm that kind of person. Right now it's currently looking like sun and clouds, high of 60 on Friday, November 8th, low of 46. So with some heaters around between 5:30 and 9:30, that's perfect outdoor just drinking weather.
That's great because I had heard 58 and 36, so things have warmed up. So that's good news.
I mean, I'll drink in any weather. Like I'll suck it up, but it's something comfortable where a couple layers and I'm still cozy. Perfect. Oh, so we're getting close to wrapping things up here. But what's your when you are having a drink, trying to relax in the evening? What's kind of your go to?
I'm definitely an IPA guy.
Okay.
And again, there's so many great ones in the area. It's yeah, definitely in the IPA range, and I'd say probably an awful lot of the logos on here are definitely go to ones. That, the beaver bite from Paradox is absolutely fantastic, and it's I can't call them out all out at once, but yeah, we've got some really great tastes. Um, the other one that we actually did talk to, we did talk to the brewery, but their license isn't active in New York State yet. But we've got a big brewery coming to Saratoga Springs next year, Treehouse.
Oh
So
man.
I think that could be really good for everybody. I think it could be good. I think you're going to get a lot more beer aficionados coming into the area, on, for weekends and stuff like that, and hoping, all of the
See,
local guys that are here this year are going to actually see their, Treehouse won't take away from them. I think it could bring business to the area.
no, I the sense I get is as long as it's quality that's opening up, the quantity isn't too much of a problem because it helps other breweries. That's the sense I've gotten. I mean, obviously, it's an explosion though. They're all over the place. Not everybody's going to be able to survive probably, but Treehouse is going to be fascinated when they open because I don't think I'm going to be able to get into that place for a while after they open. Because I was shocked to see they were opening a place in Saratoga
Yeah.
because it's their first in New York at least.
I
I
think it's the
think
first one out of Massachusetts because they've got
they've got a Cape. Do they have a Cape Cod one?
they've got Cape Cod. They've got a golf course north of Boston, which they themed all the holes for beer. They're in Deerfield,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
up
yeah,
near
yeah.
Yankee Candle. So yeah, um,
Yeah, that's going to be on top of of course, what they had to pay for that kind of real estate up there.
yeah,
I can't wait to. That place is, I'm sure, going to be immaculate and beautiful when it opens.
yeah.
But yeah, that'll be interesting to see the impact they have because that's a big, big craft beer name
It is. But
coming to town.
and you look at you again. You kind of look at our list. You look at Browns. Browns is probably. I don't want to get anybody mad at me, but I'm thinking that they may be one of the original breweries in the area.
Oh yeah,
The group that we've got, and that's always great. You go over see an RPI game. You go down to Browns and stuff like that beforehand, and
oh
they've always
go
been
to
there.
they have their own little bar set up at the Hudson Valley Cat games. If you go and watch those games during the summer, that's what I'm drinking when I'm watching those games.
You know,
Yeah, I really like Browns. I wish I was. I'm not close to Troy. I live right in Rotterdam, Schenectady, so I'm close to Wolf Hollow. Frog Alley is immediate, but I have a lot of great. There's a lot of great craft beer bars that I generally go to, like Backstage Pub, Hunters on J, 20 North. That always have a great selection of all the local stuff.
absolutely.
Um, but yeah, uh, I'm kind of right up your alley. I depending on the mood I'm in, I will if I'm looking for like a nightcap, I like a just like a nice higher percent hazy IPA before I go to bed or something like that. Like don't get me wrong, I'll try any beer. But I've never really gotten into like the darks and the stouts. I don't know. I'll try them. I just stouts aren't up my alley.
Sometimes it's like again, you're not gonna be drinking them all day while you're watching football, but like like a three bean porter or something like that. There was one down in New England that was like it was a three bean. It was like I think it was coffee, vanilla, and something else, but that was delicious. But again, I used to travel in business, and when I'd order that, they knew that that was the final beer of the night.
Yeah, I've whenever I go out, I'm like I'm drinking Miller Lights or something until I go and get that last beer. I'm like, all right, let's look at percentages now.
Right.
No, but this sounds like it's going to be a great event. It sounds like it's already trending in a real positive direction for attendance. This is something people are going to want to check out. It's a new, unique beer tasting event experience. If there's one thing people like other than drinking beer, they like doing it in new settings.
It's for a great cause.
And it's for a great cause.
You can go to a lot of these things where maybe a corporation's making money. Like I said, every penny that we make is going back to these two groups. So it is truly a great cause.
Yeah, that sounds, yeah. It's going to be a great time. I have no doubt. But I think that's going to wrap up this episode of Stories from a Bar.
Fantastic. I hope
It
to see
is.
you next Friday night.
Yeah, we'll see what I can do. I think I should be able to make it. But a big thank you, David Hennel, for being on the show again. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out, talk all about Flights for Veterans, the Rotary Club, just the aerospace, Glenville Aerospace Science Museum. I think, is that the proper name?
Empire State.
Empire State. That's I knew. It's New York. Empire's always involved in some.
Remember Ernie Tatro? He used to be what, TV6 anchor. He was the one that actually he was one of
Oh wow, I
big
haven't heard that name in a while.
that. It
Okay.
started after the air shows in Schenectady.
Yes, I remember. Oh man, the blue. I remember going to air shows as a kid and seeing the Blue Angels, and that still has stuck with me. That was always super cool.
They were fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, but this has been real fun. I appreciate you taking the time out to chat about this. For people either watching this on YouTube or listening to it on whichever way you are, if you're not doing it already, follow Flights for Veterans on Instagram and Facebook. The event is Friday, November 8th, Empire State Aerosciences Museum. I did write it down. Look at that. In Glenville. You can get tickets at flightsforveterans.com. General admissions $40, VIP $60. Designated drivers, as important as they come, $20. Anything else you want to throw in before we kind of sign off?
I think that's great. Thank you so much for promoting. If anybody does mention that you heard about it on the podcast, I'll give you an extra raffle ticket. So
Hey, there you go.
No
Bonuses. There's nothing like a good bonus. Where was I? I've lost my track because I was also trying to switch screens. And I'm still not used to everything, and now it looks different again. But a huge thank you to everyone out there for checking out the show. You can, of course, follow Stories from a Bar on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at StoriesFAB to keep up with everything going on with the show. You'll find Stories from a Bar on all major podcast platforms. If you're listening to this, there's a video form. You'll find that up on the YouTube page for Stories from a Bar. Be sure to like and subscribe. Even more importantly, leave fantastic reviews and share the hell out of it. So until next time, cheers.